All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about a company called CleanSpark, stock ticker CLSK. So for those of you familiar with the channel, you'll know that we cover CleanSpark and all the Bitcoin miners quite a bit on this channel. For those of you who are new, if that's content that you enjoy, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And also, of course, if you like this video, please smash the like button. Also, in the pinned comment below, you will see a link to our free Discord. We're making a push for 500 members. We're almost there, so we would love for you to join us. So please consider doing that. Let's talk about CleanSpark. CleanSpark announced their monthly production and operations for the month of February today. So I want to go through that and talk about their February results and see how that ties into the big picture. And then I would like to look at their stock price and their charts and see where we may be going from here. Okay, for starters, you see that CleanSpark is trading at $9.89 right now. I'm in the middle of the trading day on March 3rd. So it's down 9.63% on the day today. That is not due to their press release of their February operations. This is due to the fact that Bitcoin is having a bad day, and all the miners are down 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% for the most part. So later when we look at the chart, you'll see CleanSpark's actually run up a bit more than most of the other miners. So, it's pulling back, and that's to be expected. So CleanSpark's market cap at this point is about $418 million. It's very difficult to compare market caps among Bitcoin miners because they all have different philosophies on running their business. CleanSpark has recently actually decided they're going to focus on Bitcoin. They do have another division of their business, their microgrid business, but they have shifted their focus over to Bitcoin mining, and they've made it clear that's their primary business. They have pretty big plans on the future of what their Bitcoin mining is going to be. I did get a chance to sit down with Isaac from CleanSpark a few weeks ago, and so I do have an interview posted on my page. So if you want to check that out, I had a real nice talk with Isaac, and he provided some insight into what CleanSpark is thinking on a going forward basis. Right now, CleanSpark, Hut 8, and Bitfarm have very similar hash rates. They're all just over 2 exahash, somewhere between 2.2, 2.3 exahash. So I know that is only one way to measure these companies. One of the other big fundamental differences, CleanSpark is not hodling their Bitcoin right now, and those other two companies are. So they have a lot more on their balance sheet than CleanSpark does. Having said that, you'll see if we look at Bitfarms, their market cap right now is about $704 million, so almost double CleanSpark's. And then if we go over to Hut 8, it's $960 million, much more than double CleanSpark's. Now again, these companies are not all exactly the same. They all have different strategies. Anyway, the point of that is I do think they're on the low side from a market cap standpoint. This company did reach profitability in its last earnings report, and talking with Isaac, it's their expectation that they will remain profitable on a going forward basis and increase their profit. So that is a big moment for this company. They've turned the corner, they're profitable. Let's go look at their operational and Bitcoin mining press release for the month of February and dig a little deeper here. Okay, CleanSpark announces February 2022 Bitcoin production. Bitcoin production and operations update. February monthly production, 276 Bitcoin. Calendar year-to-date production, 581 Bitcoin. Total Bitcoin holdings as of February 28th, 494 Bitcoin. So you'll see they only have 494 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Okay, so if I go over to this chart, this is from their earnings presentation from a few weeks ago. You'll see last February they mined 45 Bitcoin. So January and February were 42 and 45. That's 97 Bitcoin. In the same 2 months of 2022, they have 581 Bitcoin. So that is a drastic increase year over year. But for those of you familiar with the channel, you know I always like to take a look month over month. So in this month, we have to be careful. February has 28 days in it, and that doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's 3 less days than January, and that is significant. That's 10%. So if I go back to January's update, you'll see that they produced 305 Bitcoin. So they did produce more Bitcoin in January than February. So let's take a look, because they say January daily Bitcoin production reached a high of 10.4 Bitcoin per day. So if we go to February, you'll see here that they say February daily Bitcoin production reached a high of 10.15 per day. So that was slightly lower per day. So most of the difference is accounting for the fact that there were 3 less days. The other thing is they did improve their exahash. However, February was the most competitive month from a global hash rate and difficulty level standpoint. All the Bitcoin miners seem to be reporting a little bit less in February than they did in January. CleanSpark is going to have to increase its own hash rate at a rate faster than the worldwide hash rate is increasing, because the worldwide hash rate dictates the difficulty level. So CleanSpark or any Bitcoin miner needs to stay ahead of that curve if they hope to mine more Bitcoin. Next, they say total Bitcoin converted for operations and growth in February was 253. Total Bitcoin converted for operations and growth in January was 467. So that was the most they had ever used in a month. I believe this is the second most they've ever used in a month. So they have been using their Bitcoin. And that is why they have 494 on their balance sheet. They did say they were going to balance this approach on a going forward basis, and they would be hodling more Bitcoin over time, and that they're going to take a 3-prong approach to paying for growth and operations. And that's going to be partially, they are going to sell some Bitcoin, and they're trying to coordinate some financing, and then as a last resort, they would issue more equity. That would cause dilution. So that is their third out of the 3. But it is likely, like most of these Bitcoin miners, they will have to do some amount of that. Although CleanSpark has a very low outstanding float, so they've been very diligent about not diluting their stock. So you can see, and we oftentimes don't think of Bitcoin miners in these terms. Are they cash flow positive? And the answer to that is yes, because they mined 276 Bitcoin. They only had to cash out 253 of them to pay not only for all of their operations, and technically, that's cash flow positive, but also all of their growth. So even after they paid for all their operations and growth in the month of February, they were still cash flow positive in that they had 23 more Bitcoin that they mined that they did not have to use. They are very dedicated to not diluting their stock, and Isaac reiterated that several times. Although it is on the table, it is their third choice out of the 3, debt being the other one. So and they're looking to secure debt right now. Let's see where CleanSpark is at, and we'll talk some price targets. Okay, so this is CleanSpark on the daily time frame. So you can see today is a giant red candle, and right now CleanSpark is down 10.05%. The trading day is still not over, so I don't know where it's going to settle out today. That is not too much out of line with all of the rest of the Bitcoin miners. There's a lot of down 7, 8, 9, 10% today, so that is due to Bitcoin having a rough day again. But I want to show some numbers in a couple of different directions, because I think sometimes we lose perspective. From CleanSpark's low on January 28th, that's around the time Bitcoin got down to 33,000 and hit its low. So from their low until where they are right now, even after being down 10% today, this stock in just over a month is up 76%. So this has been a massive, massive run-up in the stock. So sometimes it feels like these stocks are stuck in the mud and they're not going anywhere and they're not doing anything. But that was a giant run-up. And from the bottom to the top, CleanSpark stock was up over 100%. So it doubled in just over a month. So that was an outstanding run. Now there's been some big volatility in the middle. Today is one of those days. It's down 10%. I want to talk about how I'm looking at this stock as far as a buying opportunity and when's a good time to buy in, if at all. I have a green line down here at about $8.38. Other than a flash crash one day, it's been above this point since February 10th. So I think that's one good strong line of support. So that would be down about 15% from here. So I look at maybe a 15% downside, and if Bitcoin was to absolutely tank and start retesting its lows from last year, down to 29,000 or below, then I would go down to this red line. This red line, it's their all-time low. So that would be a 43% downside. I don't really look at that. There's always gigantic downside in the case of a disaster. I'm more looking at this recent line of support, which is about 15% down from where we are right now. On the flip side, what's the potential reward? This blue line represents the September lows, and this was September 28th on this stock. And that was at the end of the bear run in the month of September. So Bitcoin bottomed out at the end of September, as did all of the Bitcoin miners. CleanSpark has actually gotten back up to this line. Most of the other Bitcoin miners have lagged behind this. Now, today they pulled back 10%, so they're back below this line. Even though Bitcoin is at around $42,000 right now, which is a couple $1,000s more than it was back at the end of September. So there's still some catching up to do just to get back to that point. And of course, CleanSpark has grown in exahash quite a bit since then. They reported that they're at 2.2 exahash right now, and they were at 2.1 exahash in January. So they continue to increase their exahash. They already have purchase orders out and deposits for enough machines to get them over 4 exahash by the end of the year. Bitcoin had a flash crash on December 3rd, and you can see all of these candles are that downward crash. And, then it resettled up around here somewhere. So you can see it would be over a 60% increase from where the stock is trading right now to get back to just before the flash crash. And actually, if I take this back just 2 days earlier to December 1st, so that was about 3 months ago. If CleanSpark can get back to where it was 3 months ago, that would represent about an 87% increase in the price of their stock. We just had a run up of 100% in the price of their stock. So although these numbers may seem outrageous, it does happen. So I view this as a very realistic potential upside. The downside risk, I'm looking at around 15% unless something catastrophic happens. So again, not financial advice. I am dollar cost averaging into CleanSpark as they have down days like this. So that's what I'm doing. You guys got to decide what you're going to do. That's all I got for CleanSpark. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.